Today what I'd like to do is I'm going to go over a little bit about the solution and the certified interface and so on. I'm going to drill down into some areas that when we talk to you one-on-one as we go forward, things that we need to know to help us drive the right solution to your company. And then I'm going to go into a live shipping software demonstration. And again, as you have questions, please feel free to ask. Now, within the Sage 100 product line, it took us 6 months to write the interface. Not because we were slow or didn't know what we were doing, but we did what's called a gap analysis. In that gap analysis, we realized that there were 75 data fields that needed to be added inside of Sage 100 to make shipping easy. So within those 75 data fields, we created these shipping screens you see in front of you, one of which is shipping options. Typically, when you take an order, sometimes a customer has to, on a Friday or a Thursday, wants to have it on a Saturday for whatever reason. Could be business meetings, could be an important contract that they need this out to finish a job or whatever. So we added the delivery options. Also for billing, we know that your company probably doesn't pay for the shipping cost 100% of the time. There may be occasions that you have a customer who says, ship it to me, but use my UPS account number or my FedEx account number or whatever it might be. Or perhaps it's an LTL shipment that said, I want you to use this LTL carrier and we will pay the bill. We allow for that in this billing option, which you'll see in the actual software demonstration. You can also prepay the freight or bill it back to the customer depending on what you choose to do. And for those of you that are doing LTL shipments, on occasion you may have a customer that does not have a delivery dock, so you need to specify inside delivery or a liftgate service depending on what the situation might be. And then we recognize in today's world of global marketing and sales is that very often drop shipping or blind shipping labels or somebody else's return address on other than yours is becoming more commonplace today than it ever has. In addition, because we are a global economy, there are certain pressures put on you for export documents. A certificate of origin and commercial invoice are very common requirements in doing exporting. And so on the bottom half of this field, you'll see we created fields for the country of origin, a commodity code, a harmonized tariff code, your NAFTA information, and so on. We use that data to create the certificate of origin, and the commercial invoice are sometimes referred to as a pro forma invoice for your exports. On the top portion of this field, you'll see for LTL shipments, we now have an area for class. We know that LTL shipments, everything that gets out fits into a weight class. And very often a bill of lading description might differ from the actual inventory item that you have on there. You may have an item code number. We provide a bill of lading description field that we pull over when we automatically create the bill of lading. When we sit down and talk to you on an individual basis, there are some very key areas that we need to discuss. First of all, the number of locations. Now, if you're in one building, one site, very simple. But if you have a building across town, across the state, or across the country, or in another part of the globe, we need to know that. We do run in a browser, and we don't care where we connect our shipping software to. As long as there's an internet connection, we can install it very easily. Then we also need to know who you're shipping with. You know, the most popular carriers are UPS and FedEx, and the post office. Those are for your small parcels. Occasionally you'll use DHL for international, and there may be some regional carriers like Speedy in the Midwest and so on. We talked about international shipping where we can create the certificate of origin and the commercial invoice. So we'll talk about your needs there. How much you're doing, how often you do it, where do you see the company growing to. On the lower left-hand side, we're going to talk about your LTL carriers. How many that you ship with. Typical companies run between 5 and 10 LTL companies. Some run less, some run more. But our software has the ability to support an unlimited number of LTL carriers. It really doesn't matter to us. And upon shipment, we'll create the bill of lading and the packing list and pallet labels and everything else to make life easy. And because you run in a browser, we can give your company 360-degree visibility on what's going on, so that when departments need to have access to shipping, they can have it at the time they need it. We know the warehouse has to have access all the time, because that's where all the work's being done in shipping. Sales and customer service very often need to track orders for customers and sometimes quote what shipping costs are prior to receiving an order. Because you run in a browser, it'll make it very easy for your customer service team and your sales team to track orders. And inside our software, you'll see we actually have a rate quote module as well. And perhaps the most important part of every company is their accounting department. They need to make sure that what's being charged and handling charges and that are put back correctly, And they also need to be able to audit carrier bills and pull reports up on demand. Because you run in a browser, the accounting department can open up the software, go to our reporting tool, and pull up what they need based on the date ranges, carriers, or any other specific requirements or needs that they may have. And you'll see that in the demonstration. We'll talk to you about freight markups. Some companies do it, some companies don't. Whatever it is, we need to understand it. That's also very often tied to company business rules. And the company business rules might be like, on Tuesday, if it's raining, ship UPS. On Thursday, if it's raining, ship FedEx. Or this customer wants it shipped only FedEx overnight, and here's their UPS account number. Whatever it might be, we can employ those business rules. Email notification. This is a great CRM tool that you can notify your customers that your order left at this date, at this point, with this carrier. So you can tell the customer, you did your job on time. And that helps the customer feel good because it increases the communication from your company to your customers. And sometimes that can be the difference between keeping a customer happy or losing the customer to a competitor. So we provide all those tools for you to be successful in customer retention. At the end of day process, when UPS or FedEx walks in your warehouse and is there to pick up packages, they already know what to pick up. We use a technology called Carrier Web Services. It's the latest technology where as soon as that shipping label prints in the warehouse, it's already manifested at the carrier. And what that means is it also sends it down to the driver's handheld device. So when they get out of the truck, they know how many packages they're picking up. And for those of you that do a lot of residential deliveries or a lot of new customers, address cleansing is critical. We know that bad address charges for ground run about $5 per shipment, and bad addresses for airborne, next day or whatever, could run $10 to $12. It all depends. If you get 3 to 4 bad address charges a week, address cleansing software typically makes good sense for your organization. And those are the fields we're going to talk to you about when we talk to you one-on-one. What I'm going to do now is back out of this, and I'm going to open up my shipping software and take you through a typical transaction. I'm going to create an order inside of Sage 100, and then I'm going to ship it inside of Sage 100 through our link, and then I'm going to create another order and ship it outside of Sage 100. We have two ways to create shipments, one inside the ERP and one outside the ERP. So I'm going to create the next order. It's order number 484, and I'm going to grab a customer called AAA. If you notice, the screen looks pretty standard, but in the upper right-hand corner, we've added the button called Ship Options. Now, you as a customer service person or sales rep entering an order can click on this, and here's where you can tell people it's now got to be delivered on a Saturday. If this is a Thursday or Friday, that's critical. Or if the recipient is going to pay shipping today, you can indicate that, and I'm going to click on recipient right now. And if you notice, it pulls over the billing address for the customer I'm shipping to. All I need to do is put in their account number. Now, I'm getting at this through sales order entry, but I'll show you in just a minute that I can store this permanently at the customer level. And what the benefit is to each of your organization is you now have that record stored in a permanent location with some defined fields, and we read that whenever we do shipping so that nobody in the warehouse has to worry about, do I have to bill another company? It's all automated and simplified. Also, for your emails from the carrier, you can get delivery confirmation, you can request signatures, or if it's controlled substances, you can indicate adult signature required. This is something that's available when we install our interface. That comes with it, these screens that you see in front of you. The blind shipping labels is often referred to as drop shipments, where you don't want your name to appear as the return address, but you want one of your distributors perhaps to appear on the return address on the label. And we just check that and indicate what needs to be done. So that's how simple it is. I'm going to go back to my shipper, and I'm going to cancel out of here to now make those type of changes at shipping options. Now, I also have that shipping options available at the customer level, so I'm going to click on the customer number. And if you notice in the upper right-hand corner, you still have that pull-down menu, but I've added an option here called shipping options. And this is where I can store and define who gets billed right at the customer level. So here's where if I know that AAU Incorporated always is going to want to use their account number for UPS, I can put that in here and store it permanently. So whenever I do a shipment to this customer, it will trigger it automatically, and no one has to remember. It just does it automatically. So we simplify that for customer service. I'm going to back out of here, and I'm just going to complete a typical order. We know that the address is what it is. The order lines, I'm going to order that popular Han filing cabinet that perhaps some of you have seen in the past. I'm going to order one of them. But before I go on, I'm going to show you something else we've added. I put my cursor over the item code, and I'm doing a right mouse click, and I'm going to go down to item maintenance. When I click on item maintenance, it'll open up that item window, and this I'm sure you've seen 100 times as well. I've also added some items in the pull-down menu here. I'm going to look at item freight, and here's where I created the fields for my international shipping and your LTL shipments. This is where you can put in whatever the harmonized tariff code might be, whether it's numeric, alphanumeric, it doesn't matter. You can update it. You can also put in your bill of lading description. Instead of putting on in the account number, you could just put filing cabinet or whatever. But this is what we use when we do international shipping, and we pull that into our software. We also, for those of you that have items that you make to stock or perhaps something in your warehouse, you need to define the carton that they reside in. In this item care maintenance, this is where you can define the box size that this particular inventory item is inside. And the reason that's important is carriers not only charge by weight these days, they also charge by the size of the container that it goes out in. And if you take the height plus the width plus the length, it has to be less than a certain amount of inches. And otherwise, the carrier charges what's called dimensional weight surcharge, or dim weights in the industry. We can help control some of that and pull that over so that you pass that charge back properly to your customer. We've had companies tell us that they ship it without the dimensions on there, and they think it's going to cost $7, but because this is an oversized container, they get a bill sometimes for $102 from the carrier, and now they've already billed the customer $7, and they have to eat the balance. So this will help cut your cost and errors by being able to use this particular option in the software. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to complete the order. I'm just hitting accept. Again, it's order number 484. I now am in the warehouse, and I'm going to go ahead and ship out a shipping data entry, and I have to put my password in because I'm just logging in right now. And I'm going to enter my order number 484. I'm going to enter it on my keyboard, and again, it pulls it over. I'm going to put it in one package by clicking on Shipping Remaining Items. Then I'm hitting the tab called Shipping, and it opens up the Shipping tab. Now I'm going to point out, first of all, I have my shipping option buttons here. If for whatever reason somebody in the warehouse has to make a last-minute change, that same ability to add that into the order can be done right at that time. So we've given you shipping options at the warehouse, where they need to get to it, should they, at order entry, where they need to get it in order to capture the order, and as well as the customer maintenance level, so you can store it permanently. So again, all I've done now is I pulled the order into shipping, and I'm going to go ahead and click the tab called SmartLinc. Once I hit the tab called SmartLinc, it opens up your Internet Explorer. It logs you into our software. Once you're logged into the software, it goes over to Sage, and it pulls over the information on the order. Here's the ship to information. Here's the ship via code. And I just want to point out, in the same screen, I'm going to do UPS, I'm going to do FedEx, I can do the post office, any LTL carrier, any company vehicles, 100% of your shipping, one shipping screen, one process, one thing to learn. So it's very easy to use and adapt within your organization. So now I've got a weight of 3 pounds. I can pull over the dimensions of that box, or I can add them on the fly. It all depends on what you need. I can select the box that's already there, or I can create a new one on the fly. I'm just going to add the latest one on the bottom. In the lower right-hand corner, I'm going to hit the button called Process Shipment. Once I hit that order, it's literally taking this information, going out to UPS.com. It says I've got a 3-pound box going from this zip code to this zip code. UPS is then going to send me back a label, the freight cost, all the tracking numbers and everything else, and I'm going to stuff that back inside of Sage. Now, the first time I do a label, it always takes me a little while. I don't know why. It's a UPS thing, I guess. But here's the shipping label. I brought it to screen so you could see it, but typically it goes right to the printer in the warehouse and prints out. If you notice, we've also sent back in shipping data entry the freight amount. And if I hit the tracking tab and opens up the window, I've stuffed back the tracking number, the size of the container, the weight, and again the freight cost, instantly and automatically. And if I want to see what's inside the box, I can just click on that icon and it tells you what was shipped. That is the latest and greatest and the coolest way to do shipping inside of Sage. Any questions on what I've just done? No, that's great. I'm going to go ahead and create another order, and this time I'm going to do an LTL shipment. I'm going to select the same customer, But I'm going to change the ship via code. So I click on the magnifying glass, and I'm going to grab Conway Express number 404. So I'm going to go, again, the addresses are good. Go to the item number. I'm just going to order the same item. This time it's my 100 filing cabinet. This time I'm going to order 3 of them. Totals are good. I accept. Now it's order number 485. So I accept that. Before I do that, I'm going to close out of this last order. And I can print invoices or do anything I else showed at that time. But now I'm going to bring in 485 that I just did, my LTL shipment. And it pulls over the 3 orders. I'm going to put these 3 filing cabinets on one pallet, again, by clicking. My mouse is bouncing around a little bit here, I apologize. I click on shipping. I'm going to just, I'll update the weight when I open it up because in LTL shipment I want to make sure that's a little bit heavier. So I like what I see here. I'm going to click on the SmartLinc button. So far I've done nothing new than what I just did for my small parcel. And here you saw how fast it opened up. And I'm going to change the weight from 9 pounds. I'm going to change it to 300 pounds. And I brought over the weight class from the interface that we created in the description. Now to do an LTL shipment, I do the same thing I just did. I hit the process shipment button that I did for UPS. But I'm going to do something more here. I'm going to create my bill of lading automatically. I'm going to create a pallet label automatically, and I'm going to stuff all this back inside of Sage again. I'm going to open up and show you my bill of lading. And we barcoded the bill of lading to make it easier for the LTL company to process the bill of lading on their side. But we've created the ship from and all the information inside of that instantly and automatically inside of our software. I'm going to bring up the pack. We also created a pallet label. And I know you can't really see this too well on your side, but it tells you there's 3 items on this pallet. It gives you the pro number automatically, which is what we create, and the bill of lading number. If there are any shipping notes, we pull that over as well. And on top, I can reference a purchase order or an invoice or anything else that I need to reference with this LTL shipment. Inside of shipping data entry, there's the 300 pounds that we sent back. There's the freight cost of $110.46. When I click on tracking, it opens up the tracking window. Here's the pro number from the carrier. Here's the weight and your freight cost. And if I want to see what's on that pallet, I just click that item. There's 3 items there. And that's how simple it can be to do shipping inside of Sage 100. No questions at this point? Good. I'm going to go ahead and accept this. I'm going to create one more order, but this time I'm going to ship it outside of Sage 100. I go down to the next order. This is 486. We use the same customer I just used. We use the leave it at UPS. I'm going into my address. It looks good. Go to my product lines. This time I'm going to grab the filing cabinet again, and I'm just going to order 1 for simplicity's sake. I look at the total, and I'm fine. And it's order number 486 with 4 zeros in front of it. All right? Now I'm going to open up my shipping system and log into here remotely. So just bear with me. I'm in the warehouse right now. It is the morning, and I just got to work. And I'm going to log in as the warehouse shipper. So now I'm at my workstation in the warehouse. I scan a barcode or I type in the order number. 486. I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard. It's now going to go back into sales order entry. And notice what I pulled over. Here's that ship to again. Here's the shipping method. But look what else I pulled over. I pulled over that Han filing cabinet. I'm going to pack it here. I'm going to put it all in one container by hitting the item called Pack All. It will pull the weight over, or I can just simply put it on the scale and have the scale return a weight. Then all I hit is a button called Process Shipment. So I've gone ahead, I've created the shipment. It's going out to UPS.com. UPS.com is going to send back to me the label, the tracking number, the freight cost, and automatically I'm going to send it back inside of Sage. So let's go ahead and take a look. I also created a packing list. And this packing list can be branded with your company name, or if you ship on behalf of other organizations, we can put their logos on here. But something we did that you typically don't do or have the ability to do inside of your system is to add the tracking number and the shipping method and how many containers are shipped. We do that automatically every time we ship. I'm going to just shrink this down for a second because I'm going to bring it back to screen. I also created that shipping label. Now I'm going to go back and pull up order number 486 that we just shipped. There it shows it being shipped. I click on the shipping tab and I hit tracking. It stuffed in all that information automatic, the 45 pounds, the $110.63, the tracking number, and I did it outside of the system. So, and the reason I show you this is it all depends on your workflow, which is going to work best for your organization. Shipping inside of shipping data entry or inside our software in the warehouse. All depends on what the requirements are for your company. Now I'm the customer service rep, and I get an angry call from my customer that says, where's my order? So I click on the tab here. You can certainly do it inside of Sage. But let's say you're at the customer site or at a trade show and the customer walks up. All I know is that it shipped sometime this month. So I don't even know the customer name right now because this person's just steaming mad. So I hit display. And here's everything that shipped from March 1st to today. On the right-hand side is a scroll bar. It allows me to scroll up and down. When I find the order, I can just click on the tracking number. It takes you right to the carrier's website, automatically paste in that tracking number. It brings back to screen in a very short window of time what the latest status was. Because all I do is demo software, demo systems. It tells me that it was canceled by sender. It wasn't a true shipment. So that's what you want. Had it really been a live shipment, it will tell you the last date it was scanned. If it was delivered, it'll give you the date it was delivered, who signed for it, and then you can request a proof of delivery as you would with any other shipment. In addition, let's just say you're the accounting department and now you want to audit the carrier bill. UPS sent me a bill. They typically send you in 1 week's window. So I'm going to look at a week's worth of shipping, and I'm going to bring it to screen. Once I have it to screen, I can do one of two things. I can use this information as it stands to audit my bill, or I can print it by clicking on the printer icon. But sometimes I need more information, so I'm going to export it to Excel by clicking that little icon, and then I'm going to open it up. Now bear in mind this might look a little ugly, but we can make this look prettier if you need it. Here's the weight of the item. There's the company it went to. You can find the tracking number out to the side if you need that. Now on the bottom is the scroll bar, and I'm going to pull that over to the right so you can see the other data that's available. I can give you the data shipment, a purchase order number if you need it. If you have a phone number you need to call, a job number, who ordered it, the order number itself. All depends on what you need. It's literally 100% of the data that's available for that shipping. We pull this out of our shipping manifest, so we make it very simple.
Question on that one: can it pull the status of the shipment?
No, we don't post. We don't ping the websites every day to find out where the shipments are. If you're doing UPS, there's something called Quantum View that will give you that automatically. And FedEx has the same type of ability, and I don't recall off the top of my head what that is.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm the sales guy, or I'm the customer service person, and you're on the phone to me, and you say, God, I want to order 1 million of these things. Can you tell me what it's going to cost to ship it? Now, in the past, you may have to call shipping, tell them what you've got. They have to figure out the weight and get back to you. Once you have the weight, here's all you need to do. All I need is the weight. I'm going to say it's 45 pounds. I don't need an order number. And I can look at whatever I want to. I'm going to just look at my UPS Express rates. And now, here's my zip code that I'm shipping from in the middle. Here's your zip code that I'm going to deliver to, 90210. And all else I need is the country code. Because we're an international organization, as you are, we have to be able to ship globally. When I have that in, I just click the button, Add Package. And I hit the next button that says Get Quote. Here's where your contracted rates come to screen, and I can determine which is the carrier I want to choose based on delivery dates or cost. I can go ahead and take a look at whatever I want. I'm going to look at days in transit here and open it up so you can see the rest. If I go UPS Ground, it's $50. But what if I want to do express rate, flat rate boxes? I can bring it down to $39.95, save a great deal of money for the company. If you can fit into an envelope, I can save it $19.95, saving even more. What if I have to go next day? My next day, I can ship to 268 for 310, 276, 233. You can determine how you want to ship it. Once you find it, you just click on the button called Select. It will put that inside the order, and then I can save it forever. And when I want to pull it, and it saves it inside of the shipping software. If I need to pull it back, I can look at the quote ID. If If I don't know that, I can look at the customer name and it'll pull out the quotes for that. Or if I referenced an order in the beginning, I can pull that up. Whatever you need to do is available inside the software. So what I've showed you today is how to do a small parcel, how to do an LTL shipment, how to track an order, produce reports, and to quote an order, and have all that information available inside of Sage 100 for tracking or inside of our software.